Good Shabbos and good morning. Thanksgiving week is a time to focus on the good in our lives, a time to gather perhaps with family or friends, to cook up a storm and then eat to our fill and more, to shop those sales, to give back and to share our bounty. As we engage as a congregation in our tribute to our beloved Rabbi Emeritus of blessed memory, Rabbi Stanley Schachter Zichrono Livracha, by engaging in Chesed's 100 acts of kindness, mitzvah by mitzvah, doing our part to better our world, we are rededicating ourselves to the highest values by which Rabbi Schachter led our congregation, as he modeled for us how to lead with kindness and care for all. And when Erica and I saw Lifsa last week in Jerusalem, she was so moved by all of your notes, all of our tributes, all the support and all the remembrances, and especially by this initiative, which we are undertaking as a congregation. So we ask you to please share the mitzvot that you are doing to honor Rabbi Schachter's memory so that we can continue to honor and carry on his legacy. This week's Torah reading, Parshat Toldot, translated as generations or offspring, is a portion devoted to determining how our legacy will live on. Here in Ohio, this is known as Rivalry Week, when Big Ten siblings meet on the gridiron at the shoe. And our Parsha is not much different, pitting twin brothers Yaakov and Esav, Jacob and Esau, in their constant fight for birthrights and blessings. Is this how our legacy, our future will continue? With bitter fighting and division, or will it be with kindness and understanding? Up until this week's Parsha, we have only known an Isaac who is a passive person. His life has been determined by others, most especially by his parents, Abraham and Sarah, who were towering figures, revolutionary leaders who pave a new path for our people, charting uncharted territory. They lived by the words Lech Lecha. They were go-getters. They answered God's call, the foundation for our people, and they moved. They literally moved mountains, they moved people, and they started a new heritage. They lived by Lech Lecha. They were movers and shakers, modeling kindness, chesed, hospitality, faith and loyalty, and morality. But what of our Isaac, the one who was led to the top of a mountain to be sacrificed by someone else, the one whose wife was chosen for him by someone else, the one who was told to remain at his home in this family tent by someone else, and he did all those things when someone else told him to do it? What type of person would Isaac be? Will he carry on his parents' legacy? Will he build upon it and make his own mark on this world? The opening line of our Parsha reads, Ve'ela toldot Yitzchak, Yitzchak ben Avraham, Avraham holidat Yitzchak. This is the story of Isaac, son of Abraham. Abraham brought forth Isaac. There is a redundancy, a repetition. If you know anything about the Torah never has superfluous or extra words. So why here does the Torah say repeatedly, Abraham brought forth Isaac? It's an unusual beginning, and it has significance, or so the rabbis say. When we focus on Abraham's influence on Isaac, perhaps we begin to question, who will this Isaac be? Can he bear the torch? Will he make his own mark? In the Amidah, our most important daily prayer that we recite 3 times a day, we say, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov. And like me, maybe you say, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah. Right? The God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob, the God of Sarah, the God of Rebekah, the God of Rachel, and the God of Leah. We believe that each one of our patriarchs and matriarchs made their own mark. Each had lives of honor. We mention them because they each brought something new to this world. They made their mark in an individual way. Each emulated specific qualities and values that we strive to follow, modeling for us how best to live. Each had their own relationship with God and taught us how to carry on tradition in their special way. So what is it about Isaac? Our parsha opens with Isaac choosing a favorite in his two sons, Esau. Will this be his legacy, that he shows favoritism for a child, and perhaps a child who our tradition doesn't particularly love? His father Abraham journeyed. His father Lech Lechad, he left his home and explored. He grew and transformed through that journey. But Isaac, who is told to remain, not leave and stay in place, how will he grow and mature? Isaac had his own Lech Lecha moment, but not like Abraham and Sarah. He didn't leave his place. Isaac begins by digging deep within himself. He comes to the wells that we read about today, the wells that were dug by his father Abraham, not actually by Abraham's hands, but by the hands of his own servants. But here we find Isaac standing by those wells that have been stopped up, dried out, no longer producing Mayim Chaim, fresh, living water. Isaac doesn't order his servants to start digging. Isaac picks up the shovel himself and gets to work. He digs deep and opens up his father's wells, all on his own. He takes responsibility to enrich, enhance, and refresh his father's legacy, taking ownership for that which was given to him. Isaac begins this process of growth and transformation by looking inside of himself and that of his family legacy, not passively accepting the life chosen for him, but beginning to choose a life for himself. And then, after redigging his father's wells and renaming them the same names that his father had given him, Isaac began to dig his own wells. But at that moment, he meets conflict. Neighboring tribes don't allow him to dig wells there. Isaac chooses not to engage in conflict. He moves further away. He journeys to a new site and digs in, making new wells, finding water where there was none before. Here, Isaac models for us a quality of persistence, of determination, of refusing to give up. Isaac was a survivor, shifting from one who blindly followed his father's lead to understanding the importance of carrying on his parents' legacy. Isaac was tenacious to continue on his parents' legacy of kindness, morality, in order to make his own mark. And now we go to the end of our parsha, the famous story where Isaac is an old and blind man, the one who mistakenly gives the firstborn blessing to his disguised son Jacob, as opposed to Esau. There, the rabbi suggests that Isaac actually knew it was Jacob all along, as Jacob says this, Hakol kol Yaakov v'yadayim yudei Esav. The voice is the voice of Jacob, but the hands are the hands of Esau. Perhaps this persistent and tenacious Isaac, who is now a blind old man, wasn't as passive, wasn't easily tricked as we think he was, but he actually perhaps was a man of vision, even though he could hardly see at all. He was able to look to the future, see who would best carry on his legacy, the legacy of his family, where it would go after he was gone. Isaac isn't an innovator. He's not a revolutionary figure. Isaac, though, steps out from his parents' large shadow by preserving their legacy. He digs inside of himself. He finds his family story and he recasts it as his own, verbalizing and naming those wells, finding the deepest values that his parents passed on to him so that he could live through them, live by them, and dig into his family values and share them with this world. If there wasn't an Isaac, we wouldn't remember Abraham and Sarah. Isaac is very important to our legacy, even though we are called the children of Israel. Jacob is who we look to, or the sons of Abraham. But Isaac is most crucial in the story because he was the link. He was the one who was able to pass on tradition. So on this weekend, which is a holiday weekend, when many of us have gathered at our family tables, when we finish the stuffing and the pies after digging into our own food, let us reflect on what it means to dig into our family's story. how to live with kindness and generosity, to not be blind to the consequences of our choices, and as we honor as a congregation our beloved Rabbi of blessed memory, Rabbi Schachter, by performing 100 acts of chesed, kindness, may we be dedicated to carry on Rabbi Schachter's legacy as we dig in and find our own, as we recommit ourselves to our highest values, and that way we will carry on the legacy of not only Rabbi Schachter, but our own family. Shabbat Shalom.